1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the place to be. It's your player partners from the bottom of the map.
From the bottom of the map.
It's your dog Israel.
I Hayes in the place to be.
And as always, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, share button. And if you will, jump in them comments. We will jump in with you because we love, you know what I'm saying, chopping it up with our other player partners out there. And of course, tell your friends to tell your friends to tell your big booty aunties now it's them again. And we, it's another, we in what, it's week eight? Week eight, we going into week
Yeah, I think this week 8. Week 8. If we wrong, they'll let us know.
going into week eight, big weekend. Man, go ahead and jump into it. Let's get to it.
Man, I kind of wanted to give a big shout out to Ja'Cory Brown, man. He took over last week against Iowa State, and they was really on the verge, you know what I'm saying, a victory right there. You watched that whole game. I really didn't, but I'd just be happy to see, you feel me, former UN players do good. And, they play BYU. BYU is undefeated. I'm really trying to, they got them favored over BYU, even though BYU is undefeated. So I'm like, does the bookie feel good about Ja'Cory Brown, or is it just disrespect to BYU?
I just, and then we were just talking about this. I felt like we should have kept Ja'Cory, found a way to keep him. I think he could have been like somebody we could have been developing in the background. But like you said, I'm glad to see him at UCF doing well. He's still doing his thing. Former Miami players, you see former Miami players all over the country, all over
Yeah,
the place.
yeah.
SMU, Louisville, Ole Miss. You see him everywhere. So you know what I'm saying. Happy to see them boys doing well.
Straight up, straight up. But like I said, man, BYU is undefeated. They've been disrespecting BYU. I don't think people expected BYU to be undefeated. I know I don't pay attention to them like that. I don't know if you follow them, but I feel like in week 8, if you still undefeated, man, they got to put respect on your name, man. It's a small club out there. You feel me? So I just felt like, once again, I want to have a pick on that game, but I got to sit down and be like, okay, why are they disrespecting the team? They're undefeated. You know what I'm
Another
saying? So
undefeated team we need to talk about ACC is Pitt. Pitt sitting undefeated right now.
yo,
It
I
should. Well, everybody's saying it's been a two-team race. It's been Miami and Clemson. Should we start considering Pitt?
I think you kind of got to. So I watched the game. I actually had a bet on the game. I didn't bet any money because I really didn't get time to really make it to the casino or put it in the app. But I was gonna take the over, right? I noticed that Syracuse just beat somebody. They just handed somebody their only loss. And who was it? Who did Syracuse just beat? And they were like, yeah, we got our only loss to Syracuse. And before that, Syracuse was undefeated until Syracuse took a loss to somebody. I don't know. I get all that mixed up, but I did catch the game, and
But
so I'm.
they're actually Syracuse last two wins before they lost. They beat NC State and they beat UNLV. And UNLV was hot.
Was
Um,
UNLV. That's who it was. UNLV was undefeated, and they played Boise State this weekend. And Syracuse has a passing attack. They're a passing team. And before that, they had who was that lost to?
you said Syracuse?
Yes,
Oh, they had lost to Stanford.
questionable. Look,
26
Hyman.
24, 26 24 is, tightly contested game.
All right, all right. So let me break down this Pitt Syracuse game. I'm looking at them, and I feel like, I didn't really look at Pitt's record. After the outcome of the game, I really looked and I was like, okay, they played Cal, and that's who Cal played after. That's who could not move the ball. You know what I'm saying? Then I looked and I was like, okay, Pitt's good, but they got offense problems. And so now when I'm really thinking about that bet, because I was gonna take the over, that wasn't gonna be a actually though, did the over hit? I think the over messed around and hit. But I I I no, you know what? I don't think it did. It did because the over was 66. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, like I wasn't sure why Pitt was good. Pitt's good because of the defense. Now the defense is not elite, but you want to know what certain teams I've watched are elite? Pitt is elite at making tackles. They do not miss tackles, bro. During the Syracuse game, every open field tackle, they made every open field tackle. There were just human error here and there. Pitt was also very busy. They scored 21 points off of turnovers. So only one of the interceptions that Buddy just straight up throw. Pitt gets their hands up. It goes like this. They play a little bit of zone, kind of like a mix of zone and man on man. McCord came from Ohio State, dope quarterback. Buddy is good. My bad, got too a little bit too excited.
Mhm.
Buddy would make the pass. The DB would get his hand out, tip. This was what I call a tip drill. They had three turnovers just over tip passes, and it happened so much they had three tip passes in the first half. The defense cashing everything. Them boys looking like Ed Reed. They getting the interception to the house. No, to the house. And I'm like, it was to the point where Syracuse, it was already 21 zip before they even looked up. And then that's when I saw, I was like, okay, Syracuse, their running back can't get any traction. Their defense is not bad. All these defenses are a little bit better than UM's, but Pitt, man, like they just besides the interceptions, they weren't missing tackles. Like you really sat down and you saw like, yo, the strength of this team is their defense. And you looking like, and you know what I looked, I was like, you know what? If Miami got their defensive coordinator, it's not even this like we have better athletes, right? We've got better athletes, they're faster. I think that our defense, I think the talent is there, but for some reason that Pitt defense was so fundamentally sound, and you start to feel good when you watch somebody like, damn, they just tackling, damn, tackle for a loss, like, and they just made it look so easy. Oh, you in coverage? Oh, okay, we in the zone coverage, but the DBs not even jumping the route, but just getting their hands up. And you started to see a very, very busy defense. They lived in the backfield. They frustrated them. Syracuse, the game was over before it started. And so I just was like, damn, okay, they've had some close games, but they're playing everybody. But Pitt got a schedule, boy. They still gotta play Clemson. So it's not going to be a three-team race because you're going to play Clemson, and then we're going to see what time it was. Then there was somebody else on
They
Pitt's
play they
schedule, and I
play
was
SMU next.
so boom, see, boy, you timely out there. I said, oh, you're gonna play SMU next, and I feel like SMU has an offense and they have a surgical defense, and I feel like Pitt got offense problems. Like it's a lot of talk about Eli Holstein. I think I can tell he's gonna be good, but we were talking about Emory. I think Emory Williams is already better than Eli. I think Eli is gonna get better. I don't think he's bad, but I think the offense is kind of gonna live and die with him. And if he can't get any separation or he can't plug in something, then that offense is stagnant. And I see that that's been their one flaw. But their defense, when you're watching them play, you see why. If you got a good defense, when your offense is not there, the defense be bailing them out. But I ain't gonna lie, I feel like SMU and Clemson are gonna beat them, and
So
that's
this is the
disrespectful.
thing I think we shouldn't overlook, and this is why I say it could possibly be a 3-team or 14 race. Let's say Pitt does beat, they lose to SMU, but they beat Clemson.
Oh my God, that would
So
be
let's say they lose
catastrophic.
to SMU, they beat Clemson. SMU has how many losses do SMU have right now?
One, one.
So everybody finishes with one loss except for Miami. Miami, everybody's just assuming Miami is going to match up with Clemson, but we're not looking at SMU or Pitt. I'm thinking like we need to be preparing for either all three of those teams, and all
Well,
three of those teams I've been
I would
watching.
rather play, I would rather play SMU or Pitt because SMU has a good offense, but we're more explosive. They have a serviceable defense. It's a lot of Miami players on there, but I just could tell we'll outscore them because that's gonna be what type of game that
That's
would be.
that's 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 what'll happen against SMU. This is the thing about Pitt and Clemson. Pitt has been like the team that upsets Clemson, or they put a hell of a scare in them every time they play. It's either a very, very close game or there's an upset. There's a lot of times where Clemson has been like, highly ranked, and Pitt is the team that take them down. Um,
That
and I'm
offense
just
is not that. You look at that offense though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like I see like you look at some of those close games and even looking at that game. You need more out that offense. That offense, low key, if they didn't get those 21 points, if their defense didn't step up big like that, I was like, no, y'all could lose that game. But their defense, I'm not gonna say it's been elite either because you look at their record and I was like, yeah, no, y'all done been in some close games and that it's like when your car got a bad starter, it's been driving all day, but then the starter you got problems. I'm like, yeah, they got a little starter problems, and I'm like, look. Clemson is more a complete team this year. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at what their offense is trying to do when their defense was already there, I was like, nah, y'all are kind of like I can't say you're the reverse of Miami, but your defense is serviceable, is just a lot better, you know what I'm saying, in that situation. And so I feel like I ain't gonna lie. I feel like SMU is about to give them problems too, because you're gonna have to keep up with SMU scoring, and I was like, that's gonna be our problem, because SMU plays decent enough defense to where, okay, you know what I'm saying, like you're gonna have to create. And against Syracuse, the turnovers killed the game. They don't get those turnovers though, and I'm like, yeah, you're actually gonna have to try to outscore them, and I just think that that's they're good this year and they're undefeated, right? So I can't say a whole bunch, but I think the way that they play SMU is really going to be the telltale sign, and that's till next week. But I mean, look, they had a great victory though. Great victory. They straight up dominated Syracuse. McCord, once again, they beat UNLV. But UNLV, which brings me to a non-ACC game, but it's probably the biggest matchup tonight. UNLV versus Boise State. Boise State undefeated. You do realize that UNLV is their favorite, even though the other quarterback is gone. They like the new quarterback. What is his name? Haj El Malik. You
Hmm.
heard about this boy? What you know about him?
I mean, I just know they had the other quarterback who had, got them off to a hot start, and he was just like, "I ain't get paid the NIL money y'all talking about," and he was like, "I'm out of here," and it was like, "Fine." They took the other quarterback, and they still rolling. I think this is a game, plus being on prime time because everybody's been hearing about the running back Ashton Gentry at Boise State, but because it's Boise State, you don't really see them play. You don't really see them
Mm.
and they play really late. So a lot of times you just see like the finisher score, some highlights. So this will be an opportunity for them to play against another big team, not a big team, but somebody that's a formidable foe on prime time, and we're gonna see what they're gonna
The
do.
well, the bookie right now, the bookie likes Boise State. All the betters, yo, I seen that. I've been seeing that on every site as the best pick. UNLV and the points. And what they're saying is that they expect Genty to get his, but they're saying the defense is good about putting you in short situations as far as like what I'm saying, getting you in third and long. The problem is when they don't get you in third and long, they're like something like 90th or something as far as getting off the field for third down conversions. So teams are converting against them. And I guess they just feel like UNLV has a bit of the better offense. And they really see that they have a bit of a better defense. And they just, it's kind of looking like it reminds me of like Manny. We were good if we got turnovers. We were good if we got you in third and short. Oh, you start converting third downs. Oh, now we on the field. Now we getting gas. It's a problem. So it's the best bet of this weekend. I'm actually gonna watch that game though, because I have yet to watch Boise State play. I want to be able to bet, but I hate betting on what I don't know. So that's gonna be my game for the night. You know what I'm
Last
saying?
thing I do want to say before we jump into these other games about the ACC is Miami better take care of business. Miami better keep taking care of business, and hopefully one of these other teams. I'm not going to assume Clemson is going to end up undefeated. They can have a hiccup too. I'm not going to assume, but Miami better take care of business and don't make it to where Miami has one loss, Pitt has one loss. Like we don't need to have any controversy at all to where like where Miami should end up. Miami better take care of business, and whoever we see, if it's Clemson, if it's SMU, if it's Pitt, whoever it is, like we did our part. If we don't, I don't want it to be in the hands of anybody else other than mine. So they better like,
Well, let's single it out. You ain't talking to the offense. You talking to the defense, really.
yeah, yeah.
You talking to the defense. Y'all boys, and I need y'all boys to show up, you know what I'm saying, a little bit more. But I think when it gets down to it, nah, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Dabo and Clemson, they got that glow right now. They could have a hiccup, but I think Georgia was the hiccup they needed. I think that ass swim from Georgia did something to their spirit. Cause now they didn't cover the spread against Virginia, but they really had Virginia beat until the third quarter. Virginia scored that touchdown in garbage time. Virginia they were never in it. They just didn't cover the spread. And so I'm like, nah. But one thing I can say about them is that they're not looking ahead either. I think they feel like they can go to the because right now the ACC, as far as the champion, Clemson has the best odds
Yeah.
slightly over Miami, and that's because of our defense, right? Make no mistake about it. And I think a lot of fans are like, you go watch Pitt play that game against Syracuse, you like, bro, it ain't nothing to make an open field tackle. These boys is not even don't even have a top 20 defense. You know what I'm saying? But they're making open field tackles and their DBs are getting their hands up and they're playing the same zone coverage. I think they play a little bit of a mixed man-to-man zone, but sometimes they're jumping the route, but they're not even jumping the route. They're sticking with you and their hands are up. And instead of waiting for the runner to get the ball, they're aggressive with the tackle and it's a good angle. So I'm like, yo, it's nothing to make fundamental. And Clemson is doing the same thing, by the way. When you watch their defense, it's bro, they're making open field tackles. And when you watch Miami defense, after they catch the ball, the DBs are waiting for the dude to the angle. And I'm like, you're not flying to that ball. And it shouldn't take a three or four of y'all to do it. But like I said, I mean, you can't tell our fans nothing. So we going to move on.
The defense, like you said, the defense do gotta they gotta step up. I do. The last thing is Lance Guidry. I think like the players don't have no fear of him. There's no fear. I don't think
There ain't
so.
no fear on none of the coaching. You think they fear Mario or anybody?
But I think like the offense, they have more like freedom to do what they want. The defense is like
That's
they
because
not
of Cam.
they don't, yeah, because of Cam, but the defense don't have any fear. This is why I said it. I seen a speech of Prime before a game. Prime was talking to a scene, and he was just like it was like, listen, I ain't got no patience this game, none, zero. He said, if you ain't doing what you supposed to do, you out, and you're not gonna see the field no more. He said, I don't care. He was like, if I call the pill and you don't do the pill, you out of the game. I'm not playing. Like this ain't. I don't care about. He was like, I don't care about none of y'all feelings. I don't care about who at the game, who family done showed up. I don't care about none of that. If you don't do what I told you to do, you out the game. You not finna see the field. I don't care who you are. And he was getting in Shador. First he said, Shador, stop holding the ball. We ain't doing that no more. Stop all that holding the ball. He was getting everybody ass. I'm just like, damn. I wonder if our coaches is really doing that. And
We
really,
go stop it. You listen. So when you watch Kirby, right? And I remember Kirby when he was on the sidelines of Alabama. Him and Nick Saban used to be getting in. But and the thing about it was they were balanced, right? Like they would have a bad loss and they would know what to tell the team in specifics about what to do. But if it's at halftime, yo, I'd seen Kirby go in, I'd seen Nick Saban go in. What can Mario really tell you? And on top of that, because I know it's on Lance, but it's like you're gonna take the direction of your head coach. You think Kirby don't get that from Nick Saban? You think Kirby ain't getting in that? You think Sark didn't say that at halftime against Texas? Like, look, and these teams are not even playing bad, but he's like, I need to light a fire under them. And so I just think that's always gonna be the issue. And I just think a lot of the younger fans. Except for a couple though, shout out to the comments. I ain't gonna say all of them, just most of them. Yeah, they just don't get that. They don't really understand like why when the Dolphins had Flores, our defense was so on point like that because you already know how your uncle and them look when they like, look, don't play with me, okay? You missing tackles, you're not gonna play. There is no fear out there. These boys will miss tackles, and to be fair about it, we do see more freshmen playing, but nah, bro. When you watch other teams, you like, damn, why my team can't do that? Why am I, you know what I'm saying? That's what I be thinking. I'm watching Pitt and I'm like, damn, bro, they not missing no tackles. Why they not missing no tackles? It don't look that hard. They make it look so easy. Then when I look at the Miami game and I'm like, these boys though, they're not being coached with fundamentals and they're not doing those drills. There ain't no way because like I said, Pitt, they're living with it. Cal, when we play Cal, dog, we'll catch the ball. Oh, it will be a couple of breakaways here and there, but no, they shutting that down. But what I'm saying, let's get to a couple of other games.
so
Oh,
big game coming up. And this your boy. You know, you fuck with Mike Elko, unless you in Texas A&M.
oh. Yeah. The reason I like Mike Elko, but I also like LSU because you remember last week when I was like, look, if our defense don't get it together, this ain't nothing but Jaden Daniels, right?
Mm.
And LSU, I know they kicking themselves for that. They wasted a whole season and they just ain't getting no defense. And they could have won the title last year. And no way you can't tell me that they could have won the title because they had an explosive offense. Much like us, they could put up 50 points, but they couldn't stop nobody. Sound like somebody we know? Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to Missouri. Don't try to hire within. Fires everybody on the staff because that's what you got to do. Which that's what we're supposed to do. I don't know if Mario's going to do that. That's what I would do though, right? So Brian Kelly fires the whole staff, brings in Blake Bortles, who used to be a defensive. He used to be on the defensive staff at Miami.
Blake
Yo,
Baker,
Blake Baker. Sorry about that. Bortles was the old quarterback for
quarterback.
UCF. Sorry about
Yeah,
that. Blake Baker. I think he was our safeties coach, if I'm not mistaken. And then you know what? He was a safety coach, but then wasn't he our lead? No, wasn't he actually the defensive coordinator under Manny? Wasn't he in charge of that the whole thing? I feel like he was. I feel like he got fired as a casualty award though, because Manny need to make some changes. You know what I'm saying? I don't think once again, and I guess to be fair to Goodry, um, there have even Manny had it successful, but Manny had some down times too when he was out, you know what I'm saying, with that defense. Like those boys would be out of position. Nonetheless, though, Blake Baker got first of all, Missouri was elite, okay, last year. Like you couldn't stop nothing. I mean, like it was to the point where they looked great. So I thought it was a great move. Now LSU, it seems like every game of the season, because every game this season they've gotten better and better. They do got one loss. I forgot who that loss is to, but
They
but
lost to
they're
USC the opening game.
okay. But they're undefeated in SEC play. But it seems like they're good in the first half, but the second half they're great. I'm talking about you can't get a blunt about them boys. Like I'm talking about you can't get on the bus. There ain't no more tokens. And now it's like their linebackers, it don't even look like their linebackers are cerebrally smart. It just look like see ball, get ball. Like, but them boys is getting to the ball and they out there hitting. Like, and I'm like, damn, boy, I know if LSU had this defense last year, they would have probably won another title. So I'm interested to see because I think that's the game within the game to me is that both of these defenses are going to play great, right? So it comes down to they have the opposite problem of Miami. So I think Nussmeier, it wasn't pretty when they won last week. It was a lot of screens, it was a lot of short passes, but it was great. I think the question that everybody wants to know is what's his name? Wigman? That's the boy name who we played last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been inconsistent. Missouri, he looked great. Games before that, he throwing bad passes. Like that first game, because who did A&M lose to that first game of the season? Was that Notre Dame?
Yeah, they lost Notre Dame. They only put up 13 points. They couldn't score.
Yeah, man. He was looking rusty out there. That boy was looking like he ain't know what was going on. He throwing. I'm thinking like, this was the quarterback that we played last year, first game of the season. I was like, this guy looked good. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think he's separating them. Now the bookies like him, but all the bettors love LSU. And it's like I
But
really
they
liked.
got Texas A&M -1 in that. So this is almost like a pickle.
So look though, the game started off at Texas A&M 4.5. Then it went down to 2.5. Now the bookie thinking about it like the rest of us thinking about it because I like Texas A&M, but I like them because of Mike Elko and the defense. But I'm starting to feel like it's Brian Kelly on offense. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm saying. Brian Kelly at LSU. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you used to give Brian Kelly a lot, but Brian Kelly first year he gets there beats Alabama. Second year he gets there, Heisman Trophy winner. Like I ain't gonna lie, ever since he got to LSU, I can't say that they've went to they've ended the season correctly, but they've had highlights. They've showed flashes. I mean, LSU right now they're not complaining. They're like, all right, I think they got their guy. I think this is a statement game for both programs. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and make this a pick father special. I like Texas A&M, but I can't trust the offense. I think if I got to choose right now, I'm gonna go with LSU just because I think both of them will be good on defense. But it's really gonna be about who got the offense. Who got the offense, right? Ain't that the old school SEC question? And I just right now you got to trust LSU. But um, I think Mike Elko gonna have those boys ready to play. And I think out of both of the coaches, I like Mike Elko. But this is a pick'em game. Who you like?
Well, the game is at College Station, so
Oh damn.
they got the 12th man and all of that. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it to the pick father. We gonna check in with the pick father on that one. But I do think in these games, home field do play some
It
factor. When you got
does.
100,000, they got the cowbells, they got what I'm saying, all of that. It's a big game. Mike Elko has in just one season changed kind of the direction of the program, versus with Jimbo. You know what I'm saying? So like they're going in the right direction, but LSU, they're ranked number 8, so they got high hopes, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. This is a game I stay away from personally.
Yeah. It's a game I'm definitely watching though, man. I feel like this two undefeateds in SEC play. You know what I'm saying? Now what you got? You got Texas in an interesting spot. They're at Vanderbilt, right? We talking about, you know what I'm saying?
You
This
see
is
the
the
line on
offense
that
of
game though. They believe something.
18.
18 and a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
half.
but they believed in Texas last week, and we see how that worked out. Everybody got popped. Your boy ain't get popped though, because I was like, man, I was on my Omar. You gonna come at the king, you better not miss, and the king gonna stay the king until somebody take it. So I'm like, nah, bro. I feel like Texas is a great team, and people act like Texas. They just are not there yet, but that defensive line still looked good because it wasn't like Georgia was running all over them. Now you couldn't run, could nobody run. It's just that, you know what I'm saying, Georgia was playing mistake free. But you know a little bit more about Vanderbilt. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What you think?
I think in this game, I think Texas is gonna have to. I think Texas win, maybe not by 18, but this is a game where like Texas got to get back. Like they were embarrassed, when Carson Beck throws they had three turnovers and they still lose. They lose by a wide margin. So this is a game where like people was like maybe Texas was fluke. They weren't really a legit number one. They weren't really a legit national title contender. And Vandy having already upset Alabama, and they do have this real dynamic offense. But it isn't something like Texas shouldn't be able to handle. So I think this is a statement game for Sark. Like, how do you get your team back? Like, you just had a big loss. It was at home. You had national title. It was you. You number one was for you. As long as you kept winning, you would. It'd have been yours. But like now that you lost, it's like how do you recover from the loss? This is how you determine like the good coaches, the good teams from the great teams. Like how do they bounce back? And I think this is a game where they make a statement. I think it's a close game. I don't think it's a close game, but I think it stays around 14 and 17 points because Vanderbilt can score.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, Pickfather already putting that on my ticket. I'm gonna take Vanderbilt in them 18 points because I still want Texas to prove it to me, and I respect the win. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't like you said. I don't feel like it's an upset, but I'm like right now. I think there's value in what Vanderbilt has done in them 18 points. So I'm gonna take them 18. I ain't gonna put a whole bunch on it because you feel me. We don't want to be disrespectful to Texas, but I think it's enough. And you're playing at Vanderbilt, which Vanderbilt is in Tennessee. Okay, so it's like nah, you're gonna play them at home, and they getting another chance with that spotlight. So yeah, let me get them 18 points all day.
Another game that's interesting. I'm just like, like you say, the bookies must believe something. But they got Missouri at Bama, but they got Bama minus 18 points.
I thought that game was 13. It's 18 now.
Yeah,
Is it 18? I thought it was 13. It's 18 now?
yeah.
Damn. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Dog, Missouri ain't got no goddamn offense. Who Missouri just lost to? Cause they done lost to somebody. Missouri we talking about eking them games out. Like bruh, to return their running back, to return their quarterback, bro, they can't score. You know what? When it comes to teams that can't score, I'm telling you, and I think this is going to be a get right game right here for Alabama. I almost want to bet that game, but I just can't in my mind take Alabama at 18 against anybody. Even though I'm like, you know what? If they was going to score 18 points, this would be the game. Dog, Missouri looks weak. They look vulnerable. They look vulnerable right now. I actually might put that on the card, but I might take them at the half. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. But yo, Missouri can't score. Missouri can't score. And I know one can say that Alabama can't score. I would say that Alabama is just streaky with the scoring. Either they're going to be able to score quickly and a lot, or they're not. And it's these like lulls. It's like, okay, if they get an opening, they can score, but they can score off of one or two plays too. So I think right now, so that line has moved up. It was like 13 before. If it's 18 now, that means more people are jumping on it. And I'm like, damn, I wish I would have caught that at 13, but 18. But I ain't gonna lie, I really feel like Alabama could cover that. You know what I'm saying? Just because dog, Missouri has had a hard time. Dog, who did Missouri struggle against? They've been
They
struggling.
beat Auburn last week, but they only scored 24 points.
Come on, man. And I ain't gonna lie, Auburn is just what was that score? Didn't Auburn score too? I heard that was Auburn's game to give away. Like Auburn could have
Um,
closed the deal on that.
let me see, because
Yeah,
that was
Auburn. Yeah, Auburn just
it was 21-17.
come on now. Come on now. And I remember Auburn was supposed to win
And
that
Auburn
game. And
was
then,
up. Missouri scored 15 points in the fourth quarter. That's how they
oh
ended
my
up winning
God.
that game.
Oh my God. So yeah, but Missouri be struggling, dog. Missouri be struggling. They had another close victory before that. Like I said, they got a loss. I forgot, and that loss pretty
Their
much
loss was they
exposed
got
them.
blowed out by Texas A&M. It was 41-10. They got blowed out.
Oh my God. Come on now. Come on now. And I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's why the bookie got. Listen, that's why the bookie got them 18 points. Now you see how we questioning what they're gonna be against a good defense, and Missouri got a pretty good defense. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, you just gave me all the thing I needed right there. I'm definitely gonna Pickfather gonna be taking Alabama at the half against Missouri because I don't trust no team that can't score. And I know what y'all gonna say about Jalen Milroe, but look, man, Jalen Milroe is he's not great, but he's still good. And this is still Alabama. They're still killing the board. They still got the freshman phenom. They ain't got to run the ball, but they gonna throw. And I think this is a get right game. I think right now, if you think about it, Alabama got their back to the wall. If they even want to be considered for anything, they can't have no more
No
losses.
more
Okay,
losses.
they
No
can't
more.
have no more losses, and they still got to play a couple people too. You know what I'm saying? So nah, I like this game to be a statement game for them. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
a lot. It's a lot of big spreads out here. Because another one, Oklahoma at Ole Miss, and they got Ole Miss -20.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out. Cause see, Pickfather know about these things. So you know Oklahoma just fired their offensive coordinator, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you want to know why?
They can't score.
So can't, can't, and ain't gonna score. They ain't gonna score. They can't and they ain't gonna score. So the reason, so last week, right? I liked the Georgia a little bit. I look at South Carolina playing Oklahoma, and it's not to say South Carolina's not good, but South Carolina obviously is still not the best team. Yo, they put the beat down on Oklahoma. After I saw that, then I seen what Texas did. I was like, Texas ain't play nobody. You play Oklahoma. Oklahoma can't score. And if you think about it, um, Ole Miss got two losses now too, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they got two losses. Yo, teams got their back to the wall. You know what I'm saying? And I just think once again, this is a statement win. And I feel like if I'm gonna take a big spread, I don't want to take a big spread where it's just okay. Either it's a weaker conference or that team has no type of offense. And I just feel like once again, Lane Kiffin, think about it, man. And they coming off the bye week.
Yeah,
Nah,
and
they're
that
coming
last
off the
one,
bye.
they had a close loss to LSU, 29-26. So
Come on, man. Come on, man. You already know. Listen, 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 listen. If they did that on LSU, and LSU has a good defense, because obviously LSU defense is the reason that they won that game. Yeah, I like that spread.
you
Yo,
like
it's
the
a
20.
couple of games.
You like the 20.
I like the 20. I think but you know what? The Pickfather like to take halves though. So I will probably try to take that game at the half. I I'm gonna do a lot of parlay tickets because now that we're talking about it, I find pleasure either in betting on teams that have offense and no defense, right? Or two teams that have no offense and no defense, a la UM and Louisville. Or tell me that one team has no offense. I'm gonna bet against you every time, and I won't be mad at that. Yo, that's gonna be my strategy. I'm definitely taking that game now. Matter of fact, I might put them two on their own ticket. Okay, we gonna have that the SEC parlay real quick. We gonna take
Well,
we gonna
well,
take Ole Miss at the half, Alabama at the
you
half.
might have one more to add because this is another huge spread. You got
Okay.
Illinois at Oregon, and they got Oregon -22.5.
So the big talk about college football this year is that there are no elite teams, right? There ain't no elite teams. We done had three or four number ones. Um, I remember I ain't gonna say nobody name, but last week, um, I looked at the Michigan in game and I was like, damn, okay, Illinois is ranked. And then every time I think Illinois, I'm thinking that's Brett Belima, right? I don't even call him Illinois. I call him Brett Belima. Brett Belima is still the coach out there, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Look, man, y'all gonna know about Brett, all right? Brett was at Wisconsin, right? That's why I know Brett from, if I believe so. He was at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Wisconsin did their thing. You know what I'm saying? But I always felt like Brett Belima was like one of those guys, bro. He's like a he's like a better Butch Jones, right? Big. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple jokes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, for some reason, I was like, this guy knows football, bro. And I just feel like I thought that he was, I was like, okay, Lovie Smith was there. He got their recruits, but Brett Belima is showing me something, bro. Because Illinois ain't supposed to be where they at right now. I think Illinois only got one loss, right? I think they got a loss to somebody like what? Who is that? Don't say Ohio State. Better not say
Penn
Ohio
State. They lost
State.
to Penn State.
And that's supposed to happen. We know that James Franklin 2 games, which he gonna beat Michigan this year. Thank God. He gonna lose Ohio State. I can tell you right now.
Mhm.
That being stated, man, if Oregon is elite, I think it gets down to this. If you believe Oregon is elite, they'll show up and show out. If not, Brett Bielema will cover that. What scares me about Brett Bielema is when they play Purdue, they put up 50 to beat them, right? But then they turn around and win Slugfest. So I'm like, oh, okay. So y'all got defense and y'all got offense. Hmm. Who do you remember? There was a team that plays this weekend that gave Oregon all they could handle. Boise State.
Mhm.
Boise State only lost to Oregon by 3 points. I was gonna bet on that game and I didn't, and it got me to like to stay away from them. And really, Oregon up until that time had been like a. It just seemed like they were very slow in the first half. Now I do think they're better now, right? And a lot of people really don't understand in college football that the reason that teams are better as the season goes on is because they're really not hitting in practice early on. So you're really not getting those live game reps. Your live
Mhm.
game reps are in the games. So you're really seeing teams week 5, 6, 7, and 8 really starting to gel together. And so I feel like I think Brett Bielema, Illinois, has earned the respect, and I'm gonna take the 18. I think Illinois is. I think Oregon is good, but I think that Illinois can test them a little bit. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. What do you think?
I think the 22 and a half. I think Oregon hasn't shown me enough to where I see them being, three plus touchdowns favorite over Illinois. They had, the game
What
against
about
Ohio State.
Purdue?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I
They
think
they
their
shut
team.
out Purdue. They did what elite teams are supposed to do. They
This
shut Purdue all the way down.
Well, this is what I say, and this is where I feel like there's gonna be a game where a coach pulls out all the stops, right? Shit, you ain't seen all year. That big game with Brett Bielema, he pulls the shit out. Like you
Yep.
got a chance against a number one team, and you got to try to take them down. Now, what you do, I still think Oregon wins. I think that margin may be a little. I see the margin being more between like 17, maybe 20, but I do see Illinois being able to keep it from being like a blowout. I don't see it being.
So what's the line at? It was at 18 before. What
It's
is it
22
now?
and a half.
Oh shit. So the line be moving. I ain't gonna lie. So people really think, you know what I'm saying, Oregon, Danny Lanning, defensive coordinator at Georgia, you know what I'm saying? That's that coaching tree. And they got Dylan Gabriel out there balling. Okay.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And we know how we know that whoever that offensive coordinator is, once you got Bo Nix to play raw last year, I'm like, nah, they got an offensive scheme out there, all right? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I done heard some people in the NFL say that's not the Bo Nix that we saw at Oregon. I was like, you idiot. That's because they got a program out there, all right? Of course that boy ain't good. Whatever though. Um, so you don't like the 22. I don't know if I like that 22
I don't
neither.
like the 22. I feel more comfortable. It's around 14, 13 and a half, 14, 15.
Yo, I'm about to be halftime Tony because what you're basically telling me is maybe it's 12 or 13 at the half. Like I want to see like
I see
maybe it's
it
like
being more like that. I see it being like two touchdowns. I think it stays around two touchdowns. Maybe they get up at a certain point three, but I don't see it going above that.
so I gotta see then what they are at the half because maybe Brett Bielema can keep it. Maybe they can keep it within 10 points at the half, and then the spread is 14. And I'm like, yeah, cause think about it. During the first half, that's when you're gonna be tight. Everybody gonna be fresh of energy. So nah, Pig Father taking that game too. Listen. My win loss record is not gonna be what it's supposed to be this year. You know what I'm saying this week because I'm gonna take a lot of games. You know what I'm saying I'm gonna take a lot of games. So far we're gonna go ahead and take the 22 points with Illinois. We're going to take Alabama to cover those 18 points, but we're going to try to take them at the half. And what's the other game? We're going to go ahead and take Ole Miss and the 20 points over Oklahoma because we feel like Oklahoma can't do nothing.
This is a game. Well, this is me. I bet the house. I bet the whole entire house. The house and the kids' college fund.
Oh,
One
shit.
game at Navy. This is a game they play at MetLife Stadium. This has become like a game. They do this every year now. They have
Navy undefeated.
Navy undefeated. You already know what that triple option gonna do. You already know like
And
um
they throw though too. They throw when they need to.
and they throw. So they're gonna have like this offense that's very unorthodox. They got Notre Dame who cannot score. They got Notre Dame minus 13 and a half. To
It
me, that's
was
decent.
12 and a half, so it's went up a little bit. It
That's
was
easy
12 and a
money.
half.
I actually think Navy gonna beat Notre Dame.
Damn. Damn.
So let me give a caveat to this. And
Okay.
I shouldn't even be saying this information because this is going to be blasphemous, and I may be cursed to all damnation for this. But the very first team that I ever became a fan of was Notre Dame, and the only reason why that happened because the first time I started watching college football, 6 years old, 1988. You do the math. I seen a black quarterback. And a black quarterback that I seen named Tony Rice. He was a quarterback for Notre Dame. They had, and I started seeing some other little stuff. They had a wide receiver named Rocket Ishmael. They had just before
I
that,
remember him at the Chicago Bears. I had his jersey. I
they
remember
had
Rocket.
Tim Brown just before that, and then right after that, in 1992, they had Kevin McDougal. They played they beat Florida State. They should have won a national championship that year. They beat Florida State with Charlie Ward and Ward Dunn. They had Jerome Bettis, who was my favorite running back at the
The
time.
bus.
They had the bus. They had right after that they had
Damn, they had a squad. What they had a
yeah, they
squad right
had,
there.
who was supposed to be the next Joe Montana with Rick Meyer, but he wasn't. So like I am actually a Notre Dame fan, which is blasphemous because Notre Dame is the mortal, villain or the enemy to Miami. How could I be
Mm.
a fan of both? That's how. Now, get into that.
Not no moto. Not no mo, right? Clear that up. Not no moto, right?
No, I still like Notre Dame. No, I'm still a
You
fan.
like them, but you
No, I'm
bleed. You
still
feel me? Orange
Miami.
and green.
Miami is number one in my heart
Okay.
always. Miami number
Oh,
one always. But like I said, because that was the first team that I ever followed, I always follow Notre Dame. I always know
okay.
what I'm saying what the team I've been through the Lou Holtz era, the Charlie Weiss era, the Tony Willingham era. And I've been through all the eras, the Brian Kelly era. Now with the new coach,
Freeman. Freeman.
Marcus
Yeah.
Freeman era. So I've been through all the eras, the quarterbacks, Jimmy Clausen, Brady Quinn, Deshaun Clausen, Jessom. Listen, I can give you all the history of Notre Dame. Besides the fact they can't fucking score this year. They can't score, and their defense is good, but it's not good enough to stop Navy. Notre Dame will not win this game, and a damn show not going to win by 13 and a half. I know that for
Ooh.
sure. For sure. If you want to put some
Mm.
money on something, if you want to take, make a for sure flip, I'm calling this one out. Notre Dame already lost to Northern Illinois. They picked up their offense a little bit, but they not no offensive juggernaut. They cannot. They have problems moving the ball. They beat Georgia Tech last week, 31-13. Um, they beat Louis. They put 31 on Louisville. They only scored 28 against Miami of Ohio. They scored 23 against Texas A&M. The one outlier is because there's a lot of turnovers. Was 49 against Stanford, but as somebody that ACC, we watched Riley Leonard. We thought Riley Leonard was going to go to Notre Dame and like bolster his draft stock, and all we found
Mm-hmm.
out is that he can't throw. He can't throw. He cannot throw. Riley Leonard cannot throw the ball at all. He can run. That's what he's out there doing as a running quarterback, but that's not going to bolster his stock. Just like when Sam Hartman went there last year after putting up all types of passing numbers at Wake Forest and setting all types of records, went to Notre Dame and looked very mediocre. That's why he's barely fighting to be on the NFL squad now. Knowing this, Marcus Freeman he was a defensive guy. His defenses are going to be solid. His defenses are going to be, fundamental. The offense is having major problems. Riley Leonard cannot throw the ball. If they get into a game where Navy gets out and Navy gets one a couple of them triple options to break, and they get out early, this is gonna be a long day for Notre Dame. Notre Dame ain't showed me shit this year to make me believe like they're a legit team. Their deep, like this
Mm,
solid offensive line, solid defensive line, everything's like solid. But if they get into this, is going to be another test where they're going to have to, when you play those triple option teams, you're going to have to be fucking fundamental the whole entire game. And you're going to have to control the clock. If you can't, this is a game, Miami plays Navy, Miami blows Navy out because we quick strike. We could do that. We could.
mm.
Notre Dame don't have that quick strike. Notre
Do
Dame,
you think do you think the defense though for Notre Dame is would be too much for Navy?
no, no, because Navy
Because I haven't watched Navy play though. Because that's my
Navy
only
has
thing.
added the element of the pass. So before, when you're just like primarily, they're going to get their rushing yards, right? But you don't let them score touchdowns, and you just keep them to three. They're going to score here and there, but you just outscore them. Navy hit, and you stop. You do because you're not worried about the passing game at all. But
Mm,
now you got to worry about the passing game. Now it's there.
mm.
Now it's the elements just like you got to catch for. That's why Navy is dangerous. Navy dangerous because of that.
Dang, you might have just, you know what? I like that. I'm gonna give you props on that pick because I was just gonna stay away from that game because I'm like, okay, they undefeated. So, Notre Dame, the interesting part is that Army and Navy are undefeated, and Notre Dame need because they lost to Northern Illinois, they need these two games as resume builders for them to go to the playoff. So this is their first playoff test right here. But you like, look, if the game come down where they got to throw, Riley Leonard ain't gonna do it. But regardless. You almost sound like you want to take the money line, but to be safe about it, like, nah, just take them 13 points.
Take them 13 points. Listen, and Navy is putting up points on everybody.
Yeah, they
Everybody.
are.
51,
They are.
34, 41, 56 on Memphis, 38 on Temple, 40. Like, they putting up points on
They
every.
had a close game against somebody though that I was looking at. It was like a 3 points that they won by, and I was like,
The only close game was against Memphis, and they won that shit 56-44. Every other game,
56. They ain't have another close game where okay,
uh,
okay.
Temple 38-11, Memphis 56-44, UAB
Hey
40.
yo, I ain't gonna lie, I might take that game. You know what I'm saying? I might take that game with the UM game because y'all, we not supposed to do this because we already discussed the game. But I was gonna say the next game is UM. Um, Right now, when I checked before, I don't know, the line was at 20. It was at 19 and a half, so I'm gonna say 20. That may have moved up though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I see it at
Um,
21.
that's what I thought. I'm like, the line gonna continue to move up because the more people analyze Florida State. Here's the funny thing. The over under for that game, I think it was like 58 or 57 or
I
something
see
like
it
that.
at
I'll let
54 and a half.
boom. So, so let's just be real here, right? No hate. Florida State defense has still been solid. Now, you're not going to stop Miami. Maybe you can limit a couple of drives, but no, you're not going to stop Miami. But the problem has been their offensive line is horrendous and the quarterback is horrendous. And when they're able to get the line to work and the quarterback to work, the receivers be dropping the goddamn pass. So where most teams would be able to score points against Miami, they usually can't. I'm thinking to myself though that every team that plays Miami always looks better against Miami, right?
Every
Always
single
looks
one.
better. It don't matter.
Every single
So
one.
while I don't expect them to score anywhere in the neighborhood of 30, it is very, very, and I heard their running game can't get going. The thing about Florida State is it's a rivalry game. So
Mm.
on one hand, Miami is probably going to score 35 points at the minimum. At the minimum. Realistically, we probably going to score between 35 to 50. They might get a 50 piece just because we owe them. And you know how it is when you owe your little brother. Oh, nah, because you had tried me before. Fuck that 2027. I think you had beat us down by 45 to 3, and you was laughing, and you did it. I think you might have did it in Miami too. Disrespectful. Disrespectful. Okay. So I feel like they might get a 50 piece. But I think Florida State might try to get 21 points. What you think?
So I'm predicting the score to be around 52, 56 to 24. I don't think I
Mmm.
think they score. So this is Florida State point totals. They scored 21 against Georgia Tech, 13 against Boston College, 12 against Memphis, In their only win, they scored 14 against Cal, 16 against SMU, 13 against Clemson. They can only muster 16 against Duke. So I feel like they're gonna score more against us. I'm gonna get them 24 to 28 points, but we score 56. We score
Yeah,
50.
yeah, yeah. Yo, I'm gonna take multiple bets on the UM game. I'm gonna take the over. Why not? The over UM right now, UM, and there's another game that I'm gonna put on here, but apparently as of last game, which you know what I'm saying, I didn't do a pick father session, but I put a big amount of money on the over last week, right? I liked it, the spread. I think I had the spread on the parlay ticket. It was 4.5 points. But um, I took the over because UM game has went over 9 straight times. Guess what? It's going over a tenth. And a lot of other people are going to have a lot of other bets for you. And I am still going to take UM at the half. And I'm probably going to take UM for the game. But right now, I'm like, you know what? The only thing that could mess this up is UM got to score to 50. If UM scores, you know, to piss me off if it's like 45 to 10. In that case, though, you said the line was at 54
54 and a
and a
half.
half. I would push. Okay. Nah. I ain't gonna lie. So we need Florida State to get them 14. We need them to get them 14.
I think
And
they
if it's UM,
I think they
I
get
think
it.
they're
I
gonna
think
get it
they
too.
score.
So my pick father game for this is I'm probably gonna split. I'm gonna probably bet in the hundreds of dollars on this game. So I'm gonna bet on the over, but then I'm gonna go ahead and try to bet on the half as well because UM only needs to be up by 12 points at the half. And I was like, oh yeah, we can do that. We can do that. I do feel like though the first couple series, Florida State is going to do everything that they can, and they're going to try to play as man to man, and they're going to try to get some rush on the quarterback. But I wouldn't try to. To me, if you with Cam, I just and this is just on some real shit. How do you like? How do you really slow him down? Because you could try to rush him, but then he's gonna leave the pocket. If you do it, if you keep doing it, then he's just gonna run on you to get the first down. All right, you're not gonna be able to recover all the. You want to do those receivers 1-on-1? I wouldn't do that. I was like, you're gonna have to double team somebody. One of the receivers are gonna get open, and if we get close enough, you're not gonna stop the 230-pound back from getting in there. So it's like, how you want to die? You're gonna die though. Okay, so you could try to maybe limit a couple of field goals here and there, but I'm like, nah. Florida State got to get out of its own way, and I think we're gonna be, it's a rivalry game. I think we're gonna try to beat them down like Florida, dog. That's really how I feel like UM. I feel like Lance Goodry, like this is gonna be a get up game for them. So I'm gonna bet the half on this, but I'm gonna bet the half. I'm gonna bet the over, but just on a personal thing, you should never mix personal and business. But I am. I'm gonna go ahead and bet the. I'm gonna go ahead and bet the spread on them boys, just because I don't respect you. I don't respect you right now, just because you didn't respect us when you was good, and you're gonna get beat down by them 20 points, because you're gonna take this. You're gonna take this with no Vaseline. All
Listen,
right.
listen. I want all the smoke from the Florida State fans. I want
I
all
want
the
them all
smoke.
too.
I want all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
smoke.
I ain't gonna say no names, no sweater picks, but yeah, I had a homeboy like, oh, you this, oh, well, you know what? You bet on Florida State then. You ain't gonna do that. You just gonna be talking. And I remember all those Florida State fans that were in our comments last year, you know what I'm saying, that were saying this and saying that. Have you seen them? Have you seen them? Tell me, have you seen them? I ain't seen none of them. So you know what? If you a Florida State fan, you got this and this to say, look, man, go ahead and put your money where your mouth is. But I ain't gonna lie. I've been seeing a lot of Florida State fans like monks. They put their head down and they say, you know what I'm saying? They'll talk about our defense, but not too hard, and they be humble because they know what time it is. So it's like, look, man. But really, if you a real UM fan, what UM fan don't talk junk about Florida State? That's what we do. I'm not unique to that. Nobody on this channel is. So that's my bet for them. I know we've been, you know what I'm saying, in it for a little minute. Let me give y'all my last couple of bets. What do you think about Ohio State and those 25 points against Wisconsin? You know,
No,
Wisconsin
it's
supposed to
actually
have
Nebraska.
TBD.
It's Nebraska.
Nebraska, my bad, my bad. Um, Wisconsin plays Penn State. We're gonna talk about that game. What do you think though about the 25 points against Nebraska? After Nebraska was like seven, was it like 7-56 last week against Indiana?
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in Nebraska because Nebraska looked like they put the beat down on Colorado at the beginning of the season. They look like oh they have the what's his name Riola. They had the quarterback. It looked like it was going to be like this significant change with Nebraska, and I think Nebraska is one of those teams like Miami. Like when they're good, it's good for college football. But they've been bad for so long. It's like when is Nebraska going to be back? Almost like when is the U going to be back? Um, I just kind of see this being another beatdown game. I feel like Ohio State also coming off a close loss, and they still got national title, hopes. They finna go put hands and foots in Nebraska. I see this being another 56-7 game where Ohio State puts up a lot of points. Nebraska can't stop them, and for some reason, like whatever it is, I don't know. I don't follow Nebraska to know enough like why this team doesn't turn a corner. You'll see flashes here and there, and it's just like it never all the way comes together. And then they basically fall back into what they've been the past like 20 years into they
I
just
mean,
city through
to
through
be
the
to
season.
be fair though, Indiana was undefeated, and Indiana been beating folks.
But
You
it's
talking about hands and
Indiana
feet?
though. It's Indiana. Like you shouldn't be getting blowed out by Indiana. You could lose.
Not that bad. I will say that you
Blowed
can
out.
lose, but you can't get blowed out like that. I definitely see that. I definitely see that. Um, I got one more game, and it's an off-brand game. I just looked it up, and I don't follow these two teams like that, but I started to do some digging, and it's all started because I wanted to bet against Charlotte. Right, Charlotte had got beat down last week, and I started to see they were a little competitive, and so for some reason I started to look at Tulane and North Texas. Right, so Tulane is always good year in and year out. I think they're down there in the Sun Belt Conference. The Sun Belt Conference, low key, is very exciting. Right, they got James Madison. They be having Tulane. They be having North Texas. They have a lot of teams that just be like good. You know what I'm saying? Is South Florida in that Sun Belt Conference? No, I think they're in the AAC. Right?
No, South Florida is in. I wonder if
USA or something like that.
it used to be like Conference USA. I don't think it's Conference USA anymore. I think it might be the AAC now.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. But I saw where I think Tulane beat down South Florida too. And I was like, okay. So I started to do some digging, and I'm starting to see Tulane got an explosive offense. And they play North Texas this week. North Texas has an explosive offense. The over for North Texas, much like has been cashing the whole season. So if we're in week 8, the last 8 games that North Texas plays is, I'm talking about over. I looked at what the over for this game is. It's 67 and a half.
Hmm.
Yo, there's not a lot of defense going to be played here, okay? This right here is Miami Louisville 2.0. So I'm telling you now, I think this game is going to go well into the 70s. And I don't know, I'm on an over kick right now. I like the overs. I'm starting to find teams that don't like to play the defense cuz that's what my team is on right now. And so look, Tulane and North Texas over, yo, I'm loving that play right now. I'm like super loving that. And I wanted to mess with the Boise State UNLV, but I was like, nah, I can't really see that game. Same thing when it comes to LSU. I think we'll stay away from those. But Tulane, North Texas is going to be my sleeper pick. I don't have one this week, but I think next week I'm going to try to get y'all an HBCU pick. You know what I'm saying? We FAMU alumni over here, and FAMU is doing their thing. But yeah, I don't follow it enough to know what's going on. But right now with this Air Force, and the crazy part is I was gonna take Air Force at the half. I just wasn't sure. I got a question mark, but now you got me penciled in to really take the Air Force. So look, man. I like these picks these week. My marquee pick is definitely going to be the UM pick over. It's going to be split between the UM pick over and then UM at the half. Like I said, I like Tulane and North Texas over. We're gonna take the SEC parlay, which is gonna be Vandy in the 18 points. We're gonna lay the points with the favorites with Ole Miss, and we're gonna take Alabama and them boys to do what they're supposed to do. Um, we're gonna also take the points with Brett Belima. But we also understand that if Oregon is the elite team, as they say, then they're gonna cover that easily. But like you said, I expect Brett Belima and the boys to throw the whole ship at the game. Um, yeah, and those are gonna be the games. I think that we did I leave anything out?
Um,
Oh, forgot about SMU and Duke. So our ex coach versus our ex offensive coordinator. Do you not? I don't watch this game. Are you not? If you're a Miami fan, how do you not want to watch this game?
Yeah, I
How?
do. I do want to see how because you got, like I say, SMU is littered with ex Miami players: Brashard Smith, Keyshawn Smith, Rooster, Harrison Hunt on the defense. He bolstering his draft stock in NFL. I'm just like it's littered with ex Miami everywhere. So yeah, I definitely want to see how this is gonna play out.
And Duke has Rhett Lashley's offensive coordinator from last year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, look. I will say though that Duke looks like they've been struggling though offensively
Yeah,
here and
can't
there.
score. Can't score. Can't score. They
You
got
know,
the
they looked
quarterback
better.
Malik Murphy, but he ain't.
Malik Murphy looked a little bit better at. He looked great at Texas, but I see why he left. Because once they got Archie Manning, you're not finna play next year. No, you
Not,
wasn't finna play. You
not,
weren't finna play.
uh-uh.
But he looked good though, and that's why he left. He got a nice NIL deal. You know what I'm saying? We know Manny gonna make sure you get the bag. But he's been struggling, and you know I still think they got a good program over there. We know Manny loves the blitz. Manny gonna blitz. Manny gonna have pressure off the edge. Manny gonna do what he need to do. But they got SMU by 11 points, and I think SMU is gonna cover that. I think SMU is gonna cover that. I'm not gonna bet on it solo. I'm gonna analyze it some more. But if I just had to pick, if you ain't got no offense and the other team came, yo, ever since I think SMU first game of the season, they started off slow. They got one loss. Who was that loss to, by the way?
Mm,
I don't know who that loss is to. Um, because they just beat Louisville. Um, I
only,
think I think it hopefully was somebody good. I don't think it was nobody just straight up garbage. But they listen, ever since the season has went on, they've looked better and better and better. Um, yeah, man. I think I'm gonna take the 11 points with SMU, bro.
oh,
And
they
I
lost
want to
to
trust them.
BYU. BYU by
BYU is undefeated.
yeah,
And was it a big loss or was it a little loss?
3 points. They lost to BYU by three.
Oh, come on, man. Look. We're going to take these 11 points. I love Manny. I think Manny can play all the defenses world, but I think SMU wins this by 14 points.
Okay.
17 really. So yeah, and I'm probably gonna take that solo. I'm listen, y'all know how I feel about Red Lashley over here. I love me some Red Lashley. He had TVD balling, hurry up offense. They ain't have no running game, and you used to be hating, but I'm like, look, bro, we ain't got no running game. He running, and he used to run up the middle too. I ain't gonna lie, but you know to be middle the first half. The second half, he gonna do that wheel route. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he gonna run up the middle for no gain, 1 yard, and then he gonna bomb you. So I'm going Red Lashley on this one. And Red Lashley, UM, and I'm gonna make them my 2 game of the weeks right there. Everything else we just gonna watch. Are we forgetting any games that might look good?
No, I think you covered everything. You didn't say who. You said you was going to take LSU versus Texas A&M.
I'm not gonna bet on that game no more because I it's like I feel like I'm a little biased. And so I still like Texas A&M. I think I'm gonna just reserve judgment on that game. I'm you know what it is. Like I said, it's just the offense, man. We don't know if the quarterback gonna do what he's supposed to do. Some other games to watch though are I'm so do you like Memphis this year, right? Like Memphis only has one loss, and that's the Air Force, and that was 55, I think 51-44, something
I
like
said
that.
Navy. Navy.
Navy. They play Charlotte. Charlotte be getting their ass whooped. Charlotte be getting their ass whooped, okay? They got them by 18 points. And Memphis, that's what they like to do. I think I'm gonna throw that on a parlay ticket. I like Memphis, but it's more about like I think Charlotte is garbage. But I have seen them put up some points when they need to.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that'll go on a parlay ticket. But Georgia Tech plays Virginia Tech.
Hmm.
Georgia Tech started off strong. They beat Florida State, and that victory looked great at the time,
At the
but
time.
not much.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now they got Virginia Tech by 10. Virginia plays North Carolina. They only got Virginia, by 4 points over them. Um, you know, and I think that's all. Indiana plays, but you already know that quarterback hurt. That line keeps coming down. Mississippi State, Arkansas. I don't know what to say about Arkansas. I do think Arkansas has saved their season though. I will say that. I will say that. They done beat Tennessee and they done look competitive in enough games to where they good over there. Um BYU. Does Colorado play this week? I ain't heard nothing
Colorado
about
plays Cincinnati.
Dang, we ain't got nothing to say about Prime. I know them you boys. Them my boys over there.
Mm, nah, 'cause Cincinnati, they're not a top team, but they solid. They're solid this year. Colorado just got to keep getting wins. That's what they just need to do right now. Just keep getting wins. They're sitting at 5-2 right now.
Hey,
Um,
they going to a bowl.
and they're going well. I think they got to get the 6 wins to get to
Okay,
a
okay.
bowl. But they're sitting at 5-2 right now. They're looking like a lot better team. in year two for Prime. This is looking like they really are rounded in the shape, but we'll see. They just got to keep getting wins, and so I'm not looking to see how it's going to happen because I'm not sure. But they just got to win the game. Just get out there, get a win, and just keep. I only think how well they win and how good they look doesn't matter as much as their record. If they're sitting at 8-2 at the end of the season, and they got close wins or ugly wins or whatever, people are just gonna see that they have 8 wins. They're not gonna see how it was done.
Okay, okay. Um, Quick last game, not a lot on it. Penn State plays Wisconsin. I talked about it earlier. I said I was gonna come back to it. I'm a Penn State hater. Um, I just believe that some forms of Big Ten football are, you're not like you got to be able to pass, and for some reason, Penn State don't ever feel like they got to have a passing game. I haven't watched not nan game played this year. And I wait. What I do is I wait till Penn State has to play Ohio State so I can put all of my money on Ohio State. I don't care what's happening. All of my money on Ohio State. You know how you shoot a ball and you don't even turn around and watch it go in? That's how I feel about those games. Cause I'm just like, bro, James will beat everybody else. But if Michigan is good, he won't win. And if Ohio State it don't even matter if Ohio State is decent, he's gonna lose to Ohio State because Ohio State like to pass. That being stated, they only got them as a 7-point favorite over Wisconsin. We like Luke Fickle. Luke Fickle, TBD got hurt. TBD wasn't playing good before he got hurt. I don't know how I feel about that, but um, Luke Fickle though been having the boys playing. They got their ass whooped by a couple people at the beginning of the season. Since then, they've been running through people, but they only got Penn State by 7 points.
Hmm.
Penn State is like the number 4 team in the nation, number 3, something like that right now. They're sitting above UM. Um, I'm almost wondering why don't the bookie believe in them like that? You know what I'm saying? And I want to feel like they're gonna lose, but I feel like James Franklin is like 99-0 versus the rest of the conference. Like he just don't lose no games to nobody else except for them 2 teams. So, I'm gonna leave that game alone just because I'm like, nah, even if the spread covers, I'm like, nah, James Franklin gonna win that out because he know they want to go to the college playoff. But nah, man, that's a good little slate of weekend of the games. Once again, I don't know, man, but once again, pick father, I didn't give y'all some good picks. I'm gonna be auditing myself on them picks. I'm really betting on some of them games. So, we gonna see, man. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And,
all I
and
got.
y'all, jump in the comments if you had any picks or what I'm saying, like what games other than Miami, Florida State that you was looking to see how the rest of this college football season going to shape up. Um, Yeah, just keep tapping in. But like I said, we're gonna do the audit, so we're gonna circle back around and see, if the pick father hit, what that record looking like. And we're just gonna continue to keep giving you this content. But like, subscribe, share, tap in, jump in the comments. If you're a FSU fan, shit, holla at us. We want the smoke. You know what I'm saying? We ain't running for the smoke. And it's Miami, Florida State. This is one of the best rivalry games in all of college football. Too bad Florida State trash, but it don't matter. So they bad, fuck them. Well, I don't care if they bad, fuck them.
Bernie Mac, fuck him.
Fuck
Okay.
'em, fuck 'em. I don't care if they bad. I don't care what the fuck happened. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them, bitch. If
We
you
was
could put
talking,
100 on them,
we was talking shit this year. We was talking shit in the bowl game. We're gonna be talking shit next year. Go ahead on.
listen,
Come on.
listen. I don't care if we 1-6. I'm gonna be talking trash anytime we play Florida State.
Come on, man. As we should as UN fans, man. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. But like I say, go ahead, jump in the comments if you will. And until next time, this should play a partners from the bottom of the map.
From the bottom of the map.
We gone.